And it comes in. Anyways, question one. I don't know.
A report over the weekend said the Kings are open to trading anyone not named Keegan Murray or Nique Clifford. Do you buy it?
Yeah, so as said earlier, everyone's available on the Kings. Don't be fooled. They're not actively looking to trade Nique Clifford or Keegan Murray. It would have to be a trade that bowled them over to trade either one. But the gist of the report is that the Kings will be open for business on DeRozan, on Sabonis, on Levine, obviously. Hell, Schroeder and Westbrook winning if they're available. All these guys, Malik Monk. And by the way, and if it takes, let's say they're open to trade Sabonis, but you got to put Monk in there or Devin Carter out, whatever. Yeah. I was a little disappointed. I'm still kind of paying attention to this Keon Ellis thing, and we can get that in a second. But they're open for business, and this is what we've been talking about for a month.
Yeah, I think this isn't a surprise.
Good business.
They should be open for business for a lot of different reasons. For one, for just the way the record is. Two, the way the contracts are set up and kind of age and the unbalanced roster. It makes too much sense. And yeah, the way the question is worded, and you brought it up earlier, like, it's Keegan and Clifford, totally protected. I think the plan is to protect them.
Yeah.
But if the right deal had them included, you make the right deal. So I don't think they have any desires to trade those two. I would agree with that.
Right.
But again, back to what is the potential offer that would move those guys? There probably is something. But yeah, I think the focus has got to be on the bigger contracts, the older players.
Yes.
To start turning over this roster. That to me has got to be the focus.
There was also kind of off of that, Jason, a conversation I got into I wanted to bring on with you today. I posted somebody's video of all these Keon Ellis highlights. And I said, hey, here's a piece you can build around. And then a lot of the ensuing convo was like, when was the last time a team built around a defensive role player, this, that, whatever. And I want to clarify, because I do think the Keon Ellis stuff goes a little bit too far sometimes. Like he's, basically Draymond Green as a guard. And hits 90% from beyond the arc. Like, Keon Ellis has weaknesses. Keon Ellis is not an all-star. He almost certainly will never be an all-star. My thing with Keon Ellis and why I would say it's probably 70-30 he's not with us next year. 30% still very significant, though, but leaning against that is that I'm not saying Keon Ellis is a core, and I think that's where the misunderstanding comes in, like a core building block that you build a team. I'm not saying that. He's not. What I'm saying is I believe when you're in a position like the Kings, you're just trying to gather ingredients. That makes sense. And when you're trying to build a consistent playoff contender down the road, part of the ethos of that team almost has to be they have to be able to play some defense. Now, you may draft somebody in the draft this year that's the next Steph Curry, Shea. Obviously, things can change down the road as you bring new players in. But having a starting block, if you're starting at the bottom and two of your pieces, maybe your only two pieces, are a switchable defensive guard who can hit threes and a switchable defensive wing that can hit threes. And here's whatever you want to say about Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray, you can say this. They're both excellent defenders. They're both above average three-point shooters from an efficiency scale. I don't let those go. Like, I'm not saying Keon Ellis is Lou Dort, but I think that's how you have to think about it. If Lou Dort was on the Kings right now, he'd be Keon Ellis, maybe a little better. But if you put Keon Ellis on the Thunder, oh my God, he's a central part of that championship run with what he does, even if it's coming off the bench. So if I'm the Kings, I'm so devoid of things that I want to hold on to that are worth it.
Yeah.
That when one comes across, especially a homegrown one, you might want to hold on to that guy. So that's what I mean when I talk about keeping Keon Ellis.
Yeah, and maybe the reference was this is the guy, you're making him your number one? Like, that's not what you were saying there.
Not at all.
And I think a guy like Keon or Keegan and Nique, if that's kind of a desire to keep those guys as pieces, Yeah, it makes sense. I still will maintain right now, as the way they're constructed and the way they looked and the way some of the guys have played, I think their franchise player isn't here.
I couldn't agree with you more.
So it doesn't mean that Keegan and Keon and or Nique or some of the guys that stay back can't be instrumental in helping you get to there and build you. And then if you get that franchise piece in a trade or a draft, then you're going. That's how you really, take off.
It's also a reason why, and I'm not trying to make a case for him, but another reason why I kind of hope, if I'm being honest, in the trades that are likely coming between now and February, I kind of hope Devin Carter's not one of them, and I'll explain why. I think in a perfect world, I would love to see your big salary, big minutes guys gone. We're seeing more Nique Ellis. We're seeing Nique Clifford. We're seeing more Keon Ellis. We're seeing more Max Reno. And when it comes to Devin Carter, I'm with a lot of the naysayers. Like, he has not impressed me. And he looks like he's a borderline NBA player right now. But I would also say this. He was a lottery pick, perhaps a mistaken one. He hasn't even now played a full year of NBA basketball. He didn't come back to last February or January, February, I think. And if he does have a calling card to his game, it is defense. I would love to, I would love to get everybody out of here, a lot of people out of here by February, and then February, March, April, I'd love to see. Let's just see what Devin Carter can do with 20-plus minutes a night. Let's just make sure. We're not going to hear I'll use Davion Mitchell again. Davion Mitchell and what he's doing with Miami. He's not an all-star. He's not going to win it. I don't want to overstate Davion Mitchell. But that's a piece that, in retrospect, would have been nice to keep. I don't want to do the same thing with Devin Carter. Is he one of those pieces like Keon Ellis? No, okay, so you have Keegan Murray. You have Nique Clifford. You have Keon Ellis. And then maybe you have Devin Carter. So now you have 4 guys, 3 of which are capable of playing very good defense. We don't really know what Nique is yet. He might be as well. But that, to me, is how you build a team, with those solid foundational pieces that now you can add in the superstar in the draft or free agent or trade or whatever. I just want to know what Devin Carter is before we trade him, and he might suck. But I just don't feel like I know yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think the coaches are missing something?
I think it's the logjam.
I
There's
agree.
just too many guys here. And I think by making some of the trades, you just create opportunities
Yes.
for some of the guys that aren't getting them right now.
I think Devin Carter's look, acknowledge that. Let me say this. I'll acknowledge again that Devin Carter may just not be a good NBA player. So let's take that and put that aside and say that he actually is a good NBA player. If he is, then I think maybe the reason we're not seeing it right now is some sort of combo of he's still getting acclimated. He's in his own head. His minutes are so sporadic.
And there's a lot on his head.
Well, not a lot, actually.
There's a lot on the sides of his head.
On the sides of his head. And his minutes are so damn sporadic that it's like when you come in, you're like a Tasmanian devil, which, by the way, was originally what we nicknamed him. Like, you got to come in and do. I think he's probably forcing some things. I just like to see I would like to see us be completely out of it in March, April, February, March, April. Trade deadline's gone. The big minutes guys are all gone. And I'd love to see Doug and the staff be like, look, Devin, just so you know, for the rest of the season, we're going to, win or lose, we're going to give you 20 to 30 minutes a game.
See what it looks like.
No pressure, be yourself. And it might take a game or two, but I'd like to see what happens once he relaxes. And again, he might relax and not be great.
Right.
I just want to know. Question 2, please.